Hi, welcome back to the New Design for Living. My name is Camille Conte. I hope you've been enjoying some of the videos I've been posting about the new design for a living. And if you've not been enjoying them, I hope you're telling me why. Because in the new design model, it's all about listening to each other, especially when we have different opinions, thoughts, and beliefs about whatever it is that we are talking about. I want to talk a little bit about chaos, confusion, and uncertainty. My book, The Confusion Experiment, has its own YouTube channel, and I want to encourage you to head on over there because I've posted the 100 videos that came after each day of my 100-day experiment, in which I meditated for an hour. Yes, as painful as it sounds, meditated an hour every day to see if meditation could heal confusion. And after each meditation, I just grabbed my phone and just started recording whatever it was that was happening at the time. And it's a powerful journey of transformation. If you head on over to podbean.com, you'll find the Confusion Experiment podcast, which is something I launched in the summer of 2020 because we were dealing with the book's themes: chaos, confusion, uncertainty, and change. And so I ended up creating the audio version of the book there. You can find it, as well as some episodes in which we kind of dived more deeply into the chaos and confusion and uncertainty and change that was happening in 2020 when the virus pandemic and lockdown began. But for today's purposes, I want to talk about those human situations and experiences from the new design model. Because in the old design model, chaos, confusion, and uncertainty were seen and are seen as a negative. It's seen as something you don't want to experience, and if you do experience it, you want to get through it as quickly as possible. And there's a lot of heaviness around chaos, confusion, and uncertainty as it relates to the person experiencing it, right? We talked about this in my other video, going from the head to the heart in the new design model. Because if you don't know, in the old design model, let me say it this way. When you have a program determines all aspects of that program, including the people in the program. So in the old design model, the programming around, let's say, not knowing and being confused. So that's not a good thing. It's best to know and not be confused. If you are confused and don't know, that's not a good thing. People who are experiencing confusion and not knowing feel bad for you and try to help you get through it as quickly as possible. And that's because in the old design model, we have no relationship to these situations in a way that helps us see their gifts, right? So that's why when something ends, be it a relationship or a job, sometimes we rush right through not knowing and uncertainty and get a new relationship and a new job because it just feels so much better to know, even though it may not be the thing we really need. We can answer people's questions because we know. We can satisfy our own mind that wants us to know, and we avoid the discomfort and the beauty of the space between something ending and beginning, which I call uncertainty. I have learned, because of my own personal experience, to live in the discomfort of uncertainty. That's the first skill in the new design for living. We don't try to push uncertainty away. We don't make ourselves feel bad that we are in uncertainty because everybody's in uncertainty. I mean, 2020 was the theme of the year, uncertainty. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. And yet we avoided and have avoided sitting in the discomfort of uncertainty. And 2020 basically grabbed us by the necks and sat us down in uncertainty and said, you are going to feel this discomfort. And you are going to feel uncomfortable in the discomfort of not knowing what the hell is going on, what is going to happen, until that becomes something you can do more easily. I took that really seriously back in 2017 when my whole life started to unravel, and it has continued to unravel. And I have learned, though, how to sit in the discomfort of not knowing. Doesn't always work, There are some times when I don't like it, I fight it, I'm having a meltdown because I don't know. And in those moments, I just try to bring compassion to my own self when I'm having that type of a reaction and response to not knowing. So it's not always a perfect do it all the time kind of a thing in the new design for living. But we do have a greater awakening to uncertainty, to chaos, and to confusion as situations that actually are our ally. In the old design model, don't be confused. But in life, we often are. And in my book and in the talks I've given and the classes I've created, what we come to realize is confusion can be because of many things. Sometimes we're confused because we have too much information. Sometimes we're confused because we don't believe that we are capable of making a good, solid decision, or we have been told we don't know how to make decisions, or our past tells us we don't know how to make decisions, and we're so afraid to make a wrong decision that we ask a lot of people what we should do. And of course, everybody has their own opinion about what we should do. So however many people you're bringing into your scenario, you're going to get that many responses, that many different opinions about what we can do. And guess what that yields? Confusion. I don't know what the hell to do. I've got 7 people who love me, all telling me I should do this, and this. I am totally confused. I have way too much information. Sometimes we're confused because we don't have enough information. And even though we may experience internal and external pressure to know, we don't. We don't know yet. And so we live inside confusion because we haven't yet arrived at clarity. Which is why the great Kyle Cease, who challenged me to those 100 days, helped me create a space for these things by saying, I want you to repeat after me. I'm confused and I love it. I hated him. I hated him when he said that. I hated the exercise. I didn't want to do it. But of course, he pushed me and purposefully forced me, lovingly, to say it. And over time, I got what it was that he was doing. He was creating a space of acceptance for what is. I am confused. I may not like it. Other people may not like it either. However, I am experiencing that. And because I love myself and because I have redefined confusion to be an ally, I'm simply going to be okay with being confused. Because what happens when you're okay with uncertainty and you're okay with chaos and you're okay with confusion? You relax. What happens? You end up creating an atmosphere within yourself that allows you to be an ally of those experiences. Then, as a result of that, you're able to listen and experience the gifts of chaos, confusion, and uncertainty, which I'm describing to you today. I mean, the gift of chaos are the seeds of the new. Look at the caterpillar to the butterfly. Everybody knows the caterpillar. Everybody loves the butterfly. But we rarely talk about what it takes to go from one to the other. We are in the chrysalis right here and right now. The sticky, gooey seeds of change are in the chrysalis. If you were to slit that cocoon open before the butterfly's wings are fully formed, before those wings have strengthened themselves because they've had to press against the confinement in which they live, you know what would happen? That butterfly would just fall out, unformed, and certainly have no capacity to miraculously lift itself with its wings. So in the new design model, we embrace confusion because we understand that confusion has gifts. It's telling us we have too much information or not enough information, and we need to be patient and allow more to be revealed so that we have everything we need to make a decision that in that moment is going to serve what it is we are striving to experience. In the new design model, we welcome uncertainty because we understand uncertainty is a natural and organic part of change. When something is collapsing, you better believe there's uncertainty because we're in a new moment. See, that's why the mind resists change. That's why the mind is always talking you out of the new, because it's new. The mind prefers what it knows. The mind prefers what's familiar to it. And in the last couple of years, certainly in 2020, wow, we lost our minds because we had chaos, we had confusion, we had uncertainty, we had change, and we were unprepared. We simply were unprepared because we have been so attached to certainty, to security, to knowing, and we have been programmed to keep these situations, conditions, chaos, confusion, uncertainty, and change. We've been programmed to go, oh, no, avoid that at all costs. Well, in the new design for a living, we welcome it in because we know that uncertainty is part of the organic ingredients of necessary and beautiful change. We know that chaos is just that beautiful space in between the caterpillar and the butterfly that is necessary. That is necessary. We are okay cocooning in uncertainty, in the gooey stickiness of change, because we know that this is a process that will deliver us to a place of clarity and certainty, understanding, and empowerment. So I really want to encourage you to go to my website, CamilleConte.com, and purchase my book. It's just $15, and that includes shipping. I want to encourage you to go to podbean.com and find the Confusion Experiment and start listening to the audiobook and listen to the episodes in which I dive deep into confusion and change. The episodes in which we dissect what COVID was teaching us, what all of that was trying to show us, how it is that it was the great stirrer that was necessary for us to wake up to the new design model for change, uncertainty, confusion, and chaos. And for sure, share your thoughts with me in the comments below. And either now or after this video, I want you to put your hand on your heart and take whatever topic in your life you don't know what the hell is going on. I want you to say, you know what? I have no idea what's happening, fill in the blank, and I'm okay with that. I feel really uncertain about this thing, and I'm okay with that because I recognize that to the degree that I'm willing to stay in uncertainty, certainty will be revealed. Where do you think certainty comes from? It comes from the field of uncertainty because there's really nothing that's uncertain. All we're experiencing is the delay in us knowing what is already known. That's how I feel about it. You know, when you get quiet, when you start to meditate, when you practice contemplation, when you practice sitting in the discomfort of not knowing, what happens is you get introduced to a field that does know. But there's just this sometimes delay in that knowing being what we know. And if you don't cultivate the patience and the capacity to deal and not to deal, to be with discomfort and chaos, confusion in a way that welcomes them, in a way that it's not an adversary, but it's an ally, in a way where you're going, I feel confused or uncertain, or there's all this chaos going on. I want to look with the lens of what's the gift here? What is this uncertainty, chaos, and confusion trying to show me, give me, teach me? When you start looking at those situations from that perspective, it is a beautiful, game-changing relationship that you begin to have with these organic elements of life that we have been discussing here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing, for liking the videos, but mostly sharing them with others. I want to build a community here. I am building a community here. I mean, I see the power of YouTube, and I want in on it. Because there is a new design model seeking to emerge through millions of us. And to the degree that we are able to come together in this way and agree to disagree, agree, share, all of the things I've been talking about, wow, we are going to be tapping in not only to our inner power, not only to the inner creative juice that's seeking to be our own creativity, but we are going to awaken that inner architect that has the design model, that has the template, that has the tools. We just have to turn our attention away from the outer world and start turning our attention towards the inner world. And there's no better way to do that than to be okay with the chaos, change, confusion, and uncertainty that is happening and to see it for what it is, a great gift teeming, filled with possibility.